Boom! 9.8 meters per second, Newton's law of physics. What comes up will come down. And I was able to toe tap his ass all the way back downtown. Boom! Got him! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenger today. His name is Crab Shadow. That's an interesting screen name. I'm not entirely sure of the background of that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make this work. Of course, I'm picking my usual E Honda Decimus Maximus Meridius. And we'll see who he selects today. He's going to pick Ryu, or Ryu, depends on what part of the war you're from. He's going to be a Ryologist. Not to be confused with the medical specialty urology. So he's a C-rated fighter. He's a stereotypic competitor. Every person has a mantra in it. So this is Street Fighter, the final challengers. And man, I really love this version because like you really can it's a remastered version of Street Fighter Turbo. Let me get out of this corner for goodness sake. There we go. Let me get aerial right about now. Let me get this health bar down. Oh man, that Shoryuken is nasty. All right, hit the time. Oh man, that super is nasty. Got him! So he made the mistake of coming in too aggressive with the tornado kick, and I was able to wait, counter, and I punished Crab Shadow. It's an interesting screen name, Crab Shadow. All right, that was a double hit on both of us. Right about, let me block that. Right about now. All right, good. Let me get up in there. Oh my goodness. See, that Shoryuken, that is the neutralizer. Let me hit him with the high-low. All right, let me get him now. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, put your tray tables in the upright and locked position because E Honda Airlines is ready for takeoff. Boom! Got him! All right, so I was able to beat our challenger, Crab Shadow, pretty handily. He doesn't have his flag nationality indicated, so I'm not entirely sure where he's from, which I like about Street Fighter Ultra. The final challengers, you can play players from all over the world, obviously, and it denotes what country they're from, which makes it very interesting. Okay, so he's gonna pick Ryu again. Let's see if I can repeat that strategy. Even though it works beautifully, you can never be overconfident because they can adjust and make you pay for beating their ass the first time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it now. Oh, he threw me out of the club. Boom! Okay, that was a double hit on both of our behalves. Right about now. Got him, okay. Got him. Oh, timed that perfect. Boom! Got him! Boom! Man, dude, the counter and punish strategy is working beautifully today. He's trying to zone me, but he's being overly aggressive, and I'm just being patient and making him pay for these mistakes. Boom! Okay, let me cannonball his ass. Right about now. Got him. All right, hit the time. Right about now. 9.8 meters per second, Newton's law of physics. What comes up will come down, and I was able to toe tap his ass all the way back downtown. Boom! Got him. So what he did that time, he tried to Shoryuken a little too early, and when he came down, I just waited and punished him and made him pay for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can get the third and final match. Let's see if we can sweep the set. He's going to pick Fei Long this time. Fei Long is a very dynamic character. He is a offshoot of Bruce Lee, and so Fei Long didn't really continue through the Street Fighter universe because the family of the remaining survivors of Bruce Lee, they complain that they used his likeness, which is actually, if you watch Enter the Dragon, it's Bruce Lee verbatim. But man, this character, he has a very unique art. Oh, he got me with that super. And it really messes with your Street Fighter brain because he comes at you at a very unique angle, and it can be very hard to stop. But what I did, same technique as before. I was patient, and I countered, and I punished him. All right, guys, round two, let's get it right about now. All right, let me let him come to me first, and let me punish him as I counter. All right, let me cannonball his ass. Oh, okay, that was I got a little too overzealous. All right, right about now. Got him, okay. All right about now. Oh, okay. Boom, got him. All right, super time. Oh, that was a good cross-up, but he's about to go now. I said good day, sir. I said good day, sir. Boom, sir, I'm finna throw you up out of there. He got a really good super, but unfortunately he exposed himself and didn't have a counter after he successfully completed that move, and I was able to get the third and final match. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that epic battle today? I want to thank my challenger for the really weird screen name Crab Shadow for a really heated match today. He picked two separate characters today. At first, he picked Ryu, or Ryu, depends on what part of the world you're from. He tried to be a Ryologist, not to be confused with the medical specialty urology. And he tried to Hadouken projectile spam, and I was able to counter it beautifully. Now, some Ryu challengers can be over aggressive with non-projectile characters such as Fei Long, Cammy, and E Honda. Now, his strategy wasn't terrible, but unfortunately, he was overly aggressive and didn't have a contingency plan when I countered his attacks. And then my challenger used Fei Long, and Fei Long is one of the most dynamic characters on the Street Fighter universe. And unfortunately, they didn't continue him on further versions of Street Fighter because his likeness is very similar to Bruce Lee, and I believe that the surviving family members may have complained about the similarities, even though he is a very dynamic character, and he did appear on maybe one or two versions, but I think there may have been some sort of name, image, and likeness copyright that didn't really make him a forward character of the Street Fighter universe. But let me tell you, Fei Long attacks you at a very irregular arc. It can mess with your Street Fighter brain, and you have to have a different strategy and technique in order to counter it. Now, thankfully, my technique of counter and punish worked beautifully with him, and I was able to counter and I made him pay for that. So I was able to sweep the set and I sent him packing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you found value in this video and you were thoroughly entertained, I want you to tell the algorithm that you like this video by hitting that like button and joining our community by hitting that subscribe button. And remember, when you subscribe, not only are you joining our community of retro fighting gamer enthusiasts, you'll never miss an episode of Street Fighter Struggles. Until next time.